I remember, I think it was Comic-Con 2005 or 2006. I was in Hall H when they brought out Rose McGowan and Robert Rodriguez to talk about Robert Rodriguez producing a Red Sonja remake. And they had this artwork of Rose McGowan dressed as the character, and they were out there to promote it. And I was excited because, for one, it's Rodriguez. He was producing, not directing. That's okay. I can live with that. And I thought that Rose McGowan at the time, before she went absolutely insane, would definitely be a good Red Sonja. But since then it died, and then we heard Bryan Singer was going to be coming on board to direct it. Then Bryan Singer got MeToo'd not once but thrice, and then it went a little bit quiet on the project because he was still attached to it at the time, and now he's out, and Red Sonja has a new director. And that's actually pretty fascinating here. Now, it says the reboot of Red Sonja was announced in 2017 with the intent on fast-tracking it into production. And last year, Bohemian Rhapsody director Bryan Singer was brought aboard to helm the movie. Then earlier this year, Millennium Films put Swords and Sorcery property on hold. Now Red Sonja is back on, but Bryan Singer will not be the person directing it. Now, that was probably the only way they could get a decent actress to come on to play the part. And that was probably the only way they could even get anything moving forward on the project, would be to drop Bryan Singer. We don't know yet the fallout, like how long the fallout from MeTooing is going to last in Hollywood. Will it last a decade? Will it last less than that? Will there be like a rehabilitation process? We don't know how it's going to play out. So in regards to Bryan Singer's career, and perhaps even Max Landis's career, because, there's also accusations against him, we don't know how the long game is going to go for these people. But in the meantime, all of their projects are dead. And that is probably for the best, only because of just the negativity and everything surrounding it. These movie companies are already losing money as it is when they're trying to go to theaters. So it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it, to be fair. Now, Bryan Singer has been dropped from Red Sonja, and Transparent creator Jill Soloway has been tapped to write and direct the film. Soloway is said to have a bold new take on the property, and that take and the hiring of Soloway has apparently already drawn interest from studios for the Millennium Films production. Andrea Sperling, who is partners with Jill Soloway in Topple Productions, is also joining as a producer. Now, she worked on the Emmy-winning Transparent, as well as I Love Dick. In addition to the aforementioned projects, her writing credits also include episodes from the United States of Tara and 6 Feet Under. On the movies front, she wrote the 2013 comedy Afternoon Delight, but this will be her biggest directorial effort thus far. And she says that it's an artistic dream come true. But here's the thing when it comes to Red Sonja. Now, Red Sonja clearly is going to be portrayed as a feminist icon, and I don't have an issue with that. Strong female lead is cool, in my opinion. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Jill Soloway, writing Transparent, and even, I don't know which episodes of United States of Tara she wrote, but there was a lot of, I'm just going to come out and say, there's a lot of what's probably going to be SJW rhetoric in the show, in the movie, I mean, and that's going to be definitely brought up quite a bit by the trades as the movie bloggers begin to talk about this movie and her vision for this movie and quotes from her and her producing partner. This is going to be probably one of those films that becomes hotly contended simply because of the type of character that Red Sonja is, the type of world she inhabits, and the type of message that the filmmakers are trying to send. Now, you got to keep in mind with Bryan Singer probably would have just been an outright straightforward adaptation, with probably bringing in Conan the Barbarian proper versus renaming him Lord Calidor from the original film. If I say that right, I could get the name wrong. Because Schwarzenegger, while basically playing Conan in the original Red Sonja back from the 80s, they renamed him something else as not to break copyright. But everyone knows who he was. Everyone knows that's what it was, but they didn't do it. And they could possibly at this time use this as a reboot for Conan the Barbarian. That's what they tried to do back in 2011 with Marcus Nispel's Conan the Barbarian film, or Conan 3D, with Jason Momoa. Is originally because Rose McGowan was cast to be Red Sonja, there was rumor that she would have a cameo appearance in the movie, and she was in the film as a witch. Art imitates life, I guess. But the point, I'm kidding. So she wasn't ever in the role. So we don't know anything about this yet. We don't know what's going on. Her take on it, we don't know. But I can probably just summarize it with that. What sucks about that is if I'm right, and I believe that I am, if I am right, it will take away from the overall conversation surrounding the movie, surrounding the character, surrounding what Jill Soloway is going to be producing. My recommendation to her and her producing partner is simply this: do not engage in identity politics. If you want to put it in your movie, fine. Put it in your movie in a subtle enough way that everyone out there can pick up on it without feeling like they've been hit over the head with an anvil. You know how to do this if you've written for television. You know how to do this if you can tell a story. Just do that. Keep your actors and keep them on check. Keep them away from any of that conversation. Go, look, we're not trying to draw awareness to this. We're not trying to drum up negative headlines. Don't do it. Talk about strong female lead, leave it at that, and don't enter into the identity politics game. Because what we're seeing here is movies that do that, with the exception of perhaps Captain Marvel, have all ultimately ended up failing. And Captain Marvel, had it not been released 5-6 weeks away from Endgame, probably would not have done as well, because it is a relatively mediocre film with a boring protagonist. Really bad writing on that film. Now, people out there are going to disagree with me on this one. To be honest with you, they'll be like, no. I'm whatever. I want the movie to be good. What you have to understand is, when I say please don't engage in identity politics, it has everything to do with not feeding the trolls on either side, not feeding into that narrative of us versus them to otherize somebody else. I'm saying focus on the story, focus on the movie, focus on trying to create a good character, and have her experiences then become the audience's experiences to see better through her eyes and to get what she's trying to say or to get what she's about. We can better relate to a character that is strong through their actions rather than just getting on Twitter and going like, ah. That's not how you should do it in today's society. And the fact that they feel the need to consistently put that kind of crap out there in really weak lines of dialogue are just bad. It's just bad, and you shouldn't do it. You should write better. The X-Women line from Dark Phoenix was terrible. The why do they call it Men in Black bit from Men in Black was actually pretty funny because of the way Emma Thompson played off the joke, and she played it up. It was one of those jokes that was kind of a running gag throughout the film. And that was fine because it was just meant as a joke and played up as such. The problem with it is, though, is Tessa Thompson's commentary is one of the things that sparked a lot of people on one side to come out and complain about the movie. Oh, it's get woke, go broke. It wasn't that at all. Focus on the film as a whole. Don't give anyone left or right, any ammunition to either prop up or demonize your film, because all they do is hurt your bottom line. And that should be the mantra going forward in Hollywood. Keep the goddamn politics out. At least keep them subtle, and you'll find yourself in a better position to reap a lot greater of a reward. So as for Red Sonja as a whole, I'm curious to see what happens with it. I love the original film. I do. I know Schwarzenegger says it's one of his worst movies, or it is his worst movie. No, I love that damn movie, man. Ernie Reyes Jr. as that little king. I mean, it was crazy. I loved that movie as a kid. Love it as an adult. So I'm really curious to see what they do with this one, and I hope they do it well. All I can hope as a movie fan is that they do it well and that they treat the source material with respect. They don't turn it into a She-Ra situation from Netflix, because that will not get you people in the theater. Because the people that you are preaching to, the people that you are pandering to, are not the people that pay to see movies. And as we've been learning more and more, those kind of people don't leave the house for much in the first place. Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions. I'm off my soapbox now. Let me know your thoughts. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.